Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fitrah Binti Sukayri. My metric number is 282081. Now I will talk about weaving color into culture. Hajja Amina Appi, considered one of the best tradition weavers in the Philippines, was recognized a living human treasure in 2004. She ensures the preservation of this intangible heritage example by passing on her art to future generations. Weaver of maids Hajja Amina Appi has a powerful step that betrays her age of 80. She went to pick leaves from a pandan tree that grows outside his house in Ungos Matata in the province of Tawi-Tawi on a small island of the Philippines' southwestern coast. She favors this type because it produces robust, resilient made strips despite the prickly edges of the big leaves. After years of dealing with thorny tones to create the raw materials for his art, she has grown accustomed to them. She has worked as a maid weaver, teacher, artist, and mostly recently as the recipient of the Khazanah Hidup Negara or Gawatsa Manlilika Eng Bayan Award. Technique of the paste maids are woven using a highly exact thread-counted weaving technique by women from the Sama society. Tawi-tawi is an inherited condition. Both colors, geometric design, and dependability are all hallmarks of Sama maids. In contrast to the rich palette, ordinary white maids are sew on the colored ones and serve as a pattern frame, as well as protection for tin pan and dry strips. Weaving a maid can take up to 2 months and possibly longer for more complex design. Hajja Appi has a reputation for making the most delicate and exquisite maids. His effort begins with the collection of pandan leaves. He then used a small knife to reposition the tone and a dayung jangat, a thin piece of wood with a sharp tone, to pull it out. The narrow ribs were then dried and colored in a boiling NGB barrel, which is powder dye soap commercially. In a procedure known as tapping, she repeatedly compresses the strip with a tug or a heavy load to soften it and make it malleable enough to be weaved. This tedious and repetitive task is necessary in order to roughly dry the pandan strips without making them brittle or unusable. Hajja Appi book design doesn't work out of 10 writing patterns, and she doesn't keep track of every loop and fold with paper and pencil. In 1992, the Republic of the Philippines established this renowned national title to recognize persons who plays a significant role in the preservation and resuscitation of endangered traditional arts, in keeping with UNESCO effort to promote living human heritage. Since then, 11 artists have been honored for their dedication to the craft and innovative use of materials and methods. Hajja Appi was given this title in 2004 in appreciation of his abilities in the craft of weaving pagar hablon, which is pandan leaf mats, to calculate when and how colored fibers would finally join to generate signs of symmetrical nail geometry. He relied on his sense of mathematical progression. Hajja Appi, exceptional waving regularity and impressive pattern originally set her apart from her fellow mid-wavers. Her simple geometric design are a beam of vivid hues that defy and celebrate tradition, while she combines a traditional range of waving techniques to create subtle, precise, and complex patterns. Sama's made used to be plain white, but she started experimenting with dyes to get the effect she wanted. She blends commercial dyes to achieve vivid reds, purples, and yellows, sometimes using up to 8 colors at once. Because commercial dyes aren't always vibrant or appealing enough for her taste. Hajja Appi teach young women in her community the craft of tepo, a skill historically passed down from a mother to daughter in order to maintain this heritage for future generations. His in-depth understanding of both weaving processes and his lifelong attempts to maintain this essential Filipino legacy have earned her a unique position as one of the country's cultural bearers, and she is a notion connected with his intangible heritage. The National Museum of the Philippines has a collection of his work that is open to the public. So, in my opinion, the preservation of this intangible legacy is critical, and UNESCO's action is commendable because even if it appears insignificant or it is not regarded to heritage, it is critical for future generations to study and understand their heritage past because each heritage represents a specific race or country culture. Now, let's see how Hajja Amina Appi makes a waver made. That's all from me. Thank you.